on. Okay. Hey there. Welcome to our Saturday night show. This is Cryptids and Conspiracies. Tonight we're going to talk about. It's not really a conspiracy. Well, I guess some people consider it a conspiracy if you think the whole thing is, you know, people lying or trying to make this whole entire narrative that there is something beyond death. The atheists would definitely consider this a conspiracy. But it's a very interesting topic, has a lot of smoke. Our friend Abby suggested it. He is yet to show up tonight, but maybe he'll be able to put his 2 cents in later. But until he shows up, we do have a couple people here. This guy.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
That's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Hey, everybody!
Welcome to the show, Wook. And
thank you, buddy.
We also
glad to be here.
We have this guy.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hey, we got the Time Prophet in the chat. He
Hey,
says,
Time Prophet.
Time Prophet. Welcome, buddy.
Oh, yay! This would be a great subject for him to chime in on.
I would like before
Okay.
we go anywhere. Before we go
All right.
anywhere, I would like
Go ahead.
I would like to say that my bank account most certainly had a near-death experience. I was engaged once.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that definitely counts as a near-death experience, certainly.
That's what
Certainly.
I thought. Yeah.
Time Prophet in the chat.
Yeah.
Says, I like the way Wookiee Fever dyes his beard white. Well, thank you. It's a little splotchy. A little black there, a little white over here.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
There you go.
It's by design.
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
There you go. Of course, I don't. Okay. Yep. There you go. Anyway, all right. So tonight we're going to talk about something. Now, there are different ways to we're going to go non-ecumenical as possible. We're going to try to stick to the more scientific experiences, and the one that I have is from one of the foremost cardiologists in the world. This guy gets called in to do surgeries on important people, and he related this particular one.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay, so it's been confirmed that Mr. Abbey is not going to make it. So,
No,
he suggested
he's
this
not gonna
topic,
make it.
and I guess he's not going to be here for it.
He actually is doing.
So I
he's in-
hope we
he's in the
do
middle of a
him
honeydew-
justice. So,
he's in the middle of a remodel in his backyard. Put it that way.
oh, okay,
He's getting his hands dirty.
fair enough.
That'll take some time then. Ooh.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Anyway. Okay, so I got a video that's going to kind of launch us on the subject. It's one by a Josh McDowell's son, Sean McDowell, cardiologist. Laughter, everybody. Very funny.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I think I got that. Let me see here. I think I got a. Do I have? Oh, okay. Yep. All right, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
He also says the chat.
Oh,
looks,
okay. Well,
very
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, could be this one right here. Maybe this one right here work. Yeah. Yep. Anyway. Oh crap. Yeah, I screwed that up. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, crap's not good. I don't like crap.
Let me fix that.
No crap.
There, that's better. All right. Yeah, I was trying to hit this right here.
Oh, there we go. Laugh track, yes.
There we go. There we go. There we go. All right.
Nice.
Anyway, so this particular this was done by Sean McDowell. He is Josh McDowell's son.
You're still going there.
Is that still going?
Wow, still going.
Stop hitting the button.
I think it's looped up. Yeah, I need to hit the button again. Hold on.
Press the button.
Okay, so evidently that one doesn't have a off switch. Okay, there we go. Yep, not going to do that again. Oh, well, we're not perfect here. All right, but anyway, so this is a good. This guy wrote a book on near-death experiences, and this from a very technical point of view, and so one that's even scientific guy, even scientific people will enjoy, because he used the scientific method, used everything that you would need to prove a matter. So he's very well sourced. But this was a conversation that he had with Sean. Let me play this right quick.
Oh, you sent me a little about this, which I thought was interesting. There was another evidentially near-death experience case, and this is before we get to number 4, that came from atheist skeptic Michael Shermer. Now, Michael Shermer, I had him on this show about 2 months ago. We debated 2 hours, God, morality, and the soul. And I've thought about having him back on to debate near-death experiences. So if you're watching this and you want that show, comment below. Maybe we would do that. He's probably open to it. I like him a lot. But he had an article in Scientific American titled Infrequencies, where he admitted to an experience that he would have dismissed or disbelieved had it been reported to someone else. After his wedding, his wife was sad, regretting that her deceased grandfather was not able to share in their wedding, when his old broken radio, which they had never been able to repair, started playing love songs. The odds of the old radio from Germany suddenly reviving at precisely the moment she needed it, being set precisely to a station playing love songs, is quite extraordinary, Shermer concedes. You'd figure the odds to be something close to 1 in a million, or whatever the odds are. I don't know how you tabulate that. There's these type of experiences that are common, that don't prove God, but can't be explained as coincidence or lying, especially when it comes from Mark Twain, A.J. Ayer, or Michael Shermer. Your thoughts on that one? Anything else on the Mark Twain one before we move to number 4?
Yes, I think Shermer's wife said it well, right? When that happened, she said, "It's my grandfather." There's my grandfather, because she was regretting that her grandfather was not able to be there at their wedding. And boom, what are the odds that it would happen right at that moment when she's having that regret? And yet he had no explanation for it. Now, his explanation basically is, when he gets to read that book in Frequencies, if you're out there, read the article. It was in Scientific American. It's available online. And basically he says, well, this shook me to the core originally. Now, later he says, well, there are billions of people in the world. Weird things happen. It could just be one out of those billion things. And that's what he does basically with the, with this experience that we just talked about with Mark Twain. He says, okay, well, yeah, he accepts that it happened. Worley, another atheist, accepts that this happened to Mark Twain, but they just say, oh, well, it's 1 in a billion, of things, and weird things happen. But that argument falls apart when you start saying, now, wait a minute, this isn't the only one that happened. It's not just that this happened to you. In fact, my wife, after I began studying these things, she said, did I ever tell you about when I had a vivid dream about my grandmother dying when she wasn't even ill? And then a few months later, she, sure enough, died. The next month, she was diagnosed with an incurable breast cancer. Then she died. And she said, when I walked into that funeral, it was just like I had foreseen it. And I thought, this is my wife. You know, I trust her. And then, so these experiences are actually quite common. And of course, the British survey that Dr. Sidgwick and others did from Cambridge University, they actually studied 17,000 people, interviewed them, and found that 10%, maybe 4 to 5% of them had had experiences of crisis apparitions where they saw someone who had died that they had no idea had died. And that would reinforce that this is not just kind of 1 out of a billion thing, but it's happening normally to people all the time.
Well, one thing I wanted to that establishes is the fact that the Indies not like a rare occurrence. This is happening across all religion and afterlife have had. The biggest argument against NDEs is that this is like something that your dying brain does, kind of like downloads information or something like that.
I've heard
Except
that.
There's these other things that happen during the course of the NDEs. Yeah, there's other things that happen during the course of the NDEs. Like he was talking about Mark Twain. Mark Twain had a brother, and he had this vivid dream that his brother had died, and that he had gone to the funeral, and he had seen his brother's body in a casket, a white casket, in a parlor of a house, and then he woke up just terrified and went and found his brother, and his brother was perfectly fine, but then his brother was like a coal boy on a steamer, and a couple nights later, that steamer, the boiler blew up, and it killed his brother. And so he went to the funeral for his brother, and the really strange thing was he was in a white casket, and Mark Twain's family couldn't afford a white casket, anything like that. You know, we're talking like a metal casket. You know, everybody had pine box caskets, right? Mm-hmm. And so his brother being in a white casket was a strange part of the dream. But when because his brother was the youngest one killed by the disaster, some ladies like had gotten together, pulled their money, and gotten him a white casket, and so he was in a white casket. And then there was this really distinctive thing that his brother had a red rose on the casket, and when Mark Twain, saw the white casket, he's like, okay, well, there's no red rose, so I guess my dream wasn't entirely true. And while he was standing there, a lady came in and put a red rose on the casket. Now, this was something that Mark Twain talked about for years. It was in his autobiography. This was something that was so distinctive to him that he could every detail of the dream. Even in his later years, he would, when people would ask him about it, he could recount the dream perfectly. Now, I had a dream where my aunt, who I didn't know was deathly ill, I didn't know that she was dying, as a matter of fact. That was kept from me. I knew she was in a hospital, but she had been in and out of the hospitals, the whole time that I've been alive. So she was just not a well woman. And so I was having a dream that I was in the apartment that after the accident, I went to live with them, and they were in this apartment. And so the dream was very distinctively I was in that department, that apartment, okay? And she was cooking in the kitchen. And she came and sat me down at the table and told me that she was fine, that I shouldn't worry, that she's with my mom. And I still remember that dream to this day, because up to that point I was really tortured by the fact that I didn't tell her goodbye. But I was able to tell her goodbye in the dream, and from that moment on, I felt like I had closure, like I was talking actually to her. And so that, when people talk about part of the NDEs is supernatural dreams, and that was definitely one to me. And so it was similar, So I mean, NDEs kind of like cover a kind of a wide gamut. I think you said that you had one that you wanted to talk about, Wookie.
Yeah, my nephew, the brother next to me, older than me, his son was battling cancer, and the young man was in his 30s, late 30s. He he'd never really been in any kind of religious belief or anything like that. Basically, he was into a lot of bad things, but never really went to jail. So he's into drugs and maybe had done some petty theft. I don't know. He got into a lot of fights. I know that. But he was trying to turn his life around, and then all of a sudden, he came down with this cancer called some kind of myeloma. Anyway, there was a treatment he was going in for, and he was having extreme amount of pain. Cancer will do that to the body, and they put him in an induced coma.
Induced coma.
Yeah, right after the treatment that he had. I don't know how long he was under. It was probably a couple of days, or at least one day. But when he woke up, according to my brother, his father, he told me that the first thing he asked for when he was completely conscious was a priest or a preacher or some man of God, because he was not going to go to hell. And he was completely scared, freaked out, and everything. Whatever happened to him while he was, he must have had a near-death experience, because with the cancer, it's killing you anyway. So he went and I don't have specifics, just other than what my brother had told me, how much in fear he was of going to hell. He said he did not want to do that, did not want to go there. And so he ended up getting I don't know if it was I think it was a Protestant priest, a preacher came in and a Baptist or somebody like that. And he accepted, he accepted Jesus Christ right there, in the hospital and everything. And so, yeah. And then, several months later, he did end up succumbing to the cancer, but he had an experience where he was in just absolute fear. He was so scared of whatever he experienced. He did not want to go there. He did not want that. And so that's my my closest tie to near death experiences, and to the point it even shook my brother.
Let me cover this. Oh, no doubt. I mean, holy crap. Let me cover this comment. Thing is, people dream about people dying all the time, but they don't remember it when somebody actually dies. The mind plays tricks. Except the fact that, I mean, if you want to say that, that's fine. But the fact that that Mark Twain called the rose on the casket, and the fact that his brother died, before his brother died, before his brother even got on the ship that blew up. And all those details were inexplicable because because he was poor, so there's no way he should have had a fancy painted, metal casket. And he got the parlor right that he was in. It's a place that Mark Twain had never seen. He got that casket right. There's no way they could afford a casket, but there was one. And then he got the rose being placed on the casket right. And so, I mean, I know you're a naturalist and you're going to go all the way to the wall and you're never going to be dissuaded from anything, but those are pretty significant, points, I have to say.
Almost like a premonition more than that.
Believing Mark Twain at his word, but
premonition.
The thing about it is but all this falls upon the kind of like this whole entire near-death experience, kind of like the umbrella is supernatural experiences having to do with, around death. And so it's pretty wide umbrella. And so premonitions of deaths and things like that do fall into that. But, once again...
a lot of the videos that I've seen have had people floating and they're going up, and then they see, sometimes they see nice things, sometimes they don't, sometimes it's a combination of both. So and sometimes it changes their life in a variety of ways. So there's whatever your worldview is, right, there is definitely something.
There's also go ahead.
There's definitely something, regardless of what your
there's also the right. There you go. There's also the fact that people see people in these near-death experiences. They see people on the other side that they didn't know was dead. There's been like hundreds of near-death experiences with that testimony. And we're not talking about just a few hundred here. We're talking about thousands occurring over decades of time. And these are, before the internet, we didn't know how pervasive this was. Yeah. But after the internet and the ability to, talk to cultures that we, and this goes on across all cultures, across all colors and creeds, and across all religious. Do we actually know
or
unreligious?
Yeah. Do we actually know when the first NDE was recorded?
I don't know. I don't know that. But they've been recorded for a long time. This is some of this goes back pretty far. The Bible actually. There's been instances in the Bible that some people consider NDEs, where people have like prophetic dreams and things like that.
Right.
Hold on, let me get this out of the way right quick. People often dream about their parents dying because they're afraid of their parents dying. My wife often dreamed her mother would die, and she did eventually, but it took many years. Well, thing about it is, though, is people have dreams of people passing away that they didn't know passed away. Right. And so that's... When we talk about the amount of information, amount of people having NDE experiences, we're not talking about a couple hundred. We're talking thousands. And this has been going on for a long, long time. We're just now kind of getting the scope of it. But, of course, skepticals will say, well, there's, this religious thing that's having to do with it, or there's, the people that are all crackpots or all religious, nut jobs, that even though atheists have had an NDEs, militant atheists have had NDEs. That radio coming on, that happened to an atheist, and so I mean, things like this happen, and they don't seem to respect persons. They don't seem to respect personal philosophies. It just seems to be a natural phenomenon that's going on. Anyway,
I guess you just have one. You experience these things when. I guess you experience these things when you're supposed to experience these things, and one could assume that it's to get your shit together. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
So, anybody want to explain this statement? Anybody want to explain this statement? Anyone?
I have no comment.
Okay. I'm a bit befuddled. Okay. I'm a bit befuddled with that time profit.
I have no comment.
Move along. Move along.
Moving on. That level of delusion is just breathtaking. But anyway, okay. So let me go ahead and play. This is a long testimony. So I broke it up in two parts, but this is one of the better ones that I've seen. And this guy, he's a world-renowned cardiacologist, and he's like brought in to do procedures on like really important people, and this is not some crackpot. This is not some religious guy. This is not somebody. This is a man of science, a respected man of science, and this is his testimony. And so I tried to get the guy that was the most believable to time prophet, and which I know is impossible, but I tried to get the guy. I was like, if I have this cold, dark heart like time prophet who doesn't believe in anything or anyone, who would I pick? And so this was the closest I could get to that one. So this is who I chose. Anyway.
I am Dr. Mike Billigan. I'm here with Dr. Lloyd Rudy, one of the most famous cardiac surgeons. Dr. Rudy, thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
We don't get the opportunity to be in the operating room, or even most people don't get the opportunity to visit with a cardiac surgeon who has had experiences with people near death, or some who have already been pronounced dead and come back. And so that's what we're going to talk about here, in particular one case, and may touch on another one. Dr. Rudy, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
We had a very unfortunate individual who on Christmas Day had, from an oral infection, infected his native valve. Okay. If your native valve has the slightest defect, whether you were born with it or you developed it later, it calcified a little and the valve leaflets don't move or whatever, the body recognizes that as something abnormal that it's got to take care of.
Okay.
So that's what happened to this man, and one of my junior partners was on call, and he had to do an emergency valve resection. Once we were able to accomplish the repair of the aneurysm and the replacement of the valve, we could not get the person off of the bypass. Every time the 4 or 5 liters of blood that we were pumping around his body, we would reduce down to 2 or 3, he'd begin to weaken and his blood pressure would go down and so on. And to make a long story short, we simply couldn't get him off the heart-lung machine.
Right.
Finally, we just had to give up. I mean, we just said, we cannot get him off of the heart-lung machine, so we're going to have to pronounce him dead.
Right.
So we did that. And so the anesthesiologist turned his machine off, and the bellows that were breathing for the patient stopped. That machine was quiet. The anesthesiologist went into the surgeon's lounge. He hadn't eaten anything all day, so he went in to have a sandwich. Then the people who usually clean up the instruments and all that were coming in and taking away all these tools, and my surgical assistant closed the patient in a way that a post-mortem exam could be done, because anyone who succumbs on the table has to, by law, has to have an autopsy.
Right.
So he closed him up briefly, just a couple 3 wires here and a big stitch to close his soft tissue. Well, the machine that records the blood pressure and the pulse and the left atrial pressure and all the monitoring lines and things continued to run the paper out onto the floor in a big heap. Nobody bothered to turn it off. And then we put down a transesophageal echo probe, which is just a long tube that has a microphone on the end of it, and we can get a beautiful picture on a monitor of the heart beating. Well, that machine was left on, and the tape, the VCR tape, continued to run.
Right.
Well, the assistant surgeon and I went in and took our gowns off and gloves and masks and things, and came back, and we were in our short sleeve shirts, and we were standing at the door kind of discussing if there was anything else we could have done, any other medicines we could have given, whatever,
Right.
to have made this a success. And as we were standing there, it had been at least 20 minutes. You know, I don't know this exact time sequence, but it was close to 20, 25 minutes
Right.
that this man recorded no heartbeat, no blood pressure, and the echo showing no movement of the heart, just
Right.
sitting there. And all of a sudden we looked up, and the surgical assistant had just finished closing him, and we saw some electrical activity. And pretty soon the electrical activity turned into a heartbeat. Very slow, 30, 40 a minute. And we thought, well, that's kind of an agonal thing. And we see that occasionally, that the heart will continue to beat even though the patient can't generate a blood pressure or pump any blood. Well, pretty soon we look, and he's actually generating a pressure. Now, we're not doing anything. I mean, the machines are all shut off, and we're stopped all the medicines and all that.
Right.
And so I start yelling, "Get anesthesia back in here and get the nurses."
Oh. Well, so what do you think about that, gentlemen? 20 minutes.
That's definitely
20 minutes. No signs
definitely
of
a
life.
surprising situation. That's for sure. Yeah, he came back to
I'm-
life.
Yep.
Can I-
Yep.
Was that all choppy for everybody else, or was it just me? 'Cause it was all over the place. I couldn't even hear half of it.
No, it was fine on
Well,
my end.
sometimes within StreamYards, it'll be choppy, but out there it's not. I don't know why that is.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, that was fine on my end. He wasn't
Yeah,
choppy at all.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, just within StreamYards. So that's where we are. So this guy was dead for 20 minutes, dead as a doornail. They stopped all medication. They stopped all machines. They didn't even bother to close him properly. They closed him pretty much leaving the door open for the autopsy.
Yeah.
So they didn't even close him properly. So they're going to have to like rush and close him properly because the dude was gone. Okay. They're even talking about the postmortem. They're talking about, what did we mess up? Did we mess anything up? Because there's something we could have done.
What could we have done better?
And say it's comedy gold. Nobody sees the LOL dash. I did see it. Okay. Yep. That I believe in the bunny. Okay, well, I appreciate it. He didn't come back to life. His heart was just so low that nobody could tell it was beating. You can't just come to life. Except, are you saying that a world-renowned cardiologist, the top of his field, can't tell when somebody's dead? Is that what you're trying to say, Time Prophet? Are you that deluded that you're going to say that a world-renowned surgeon, you know better than a world-renowned surgeon? Is that what, are you that stuck in your head that you can't even acknowledge that a world-renowned surgeon, guy who's done thousands and thousands of procedures, knows when somebody's dead or not? I mean,
the machinery definitely.
How bad they
couldn't.
Even doctors use electric paddles that can't hurt unless there's a small.
I mean, there was no electrical activity in the brain, and the heart was flatlined.
Here we go. Right, here we go. Like
dead.
God Himself turns up to the Time Prophet's house tomorrow, and Time Prophet's like, nope. He's like, nope.
A world-renowned surgeon can miss things. Okay.
Because he's human.
All right.
I think the Time Prophet might believe if the Grim Reaper showed up one night knocking on his door.
Probably not. I don't think it's going. I mean. Okay. All right. This guy's not even saying this God. He's just saying this dude was dead. Anyway, all right. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna play the other half. All right. This is what happened after. Everybody but Time Prophet, pay attention. So here you go.
And to make a very long story short, without putting him back on cardiopulmonary bypass, the heart and lung machine and stuff, we started giving him some medicines, and anesthesia started giving him oxygen, and pretty soon he had a blood pressure of 80, and pretty soon a blood pressure of 100, and his heart rate was now up to 100 a minute, you know. He recovered and had no neurologic deficit. And for the next 10 days, 2 weeks, all of us went in and were talking to him about what he experienced, if anything. And he talked about the bright light at the end of the tunnel, as I recall, and so on. But the thing that astounded me was that he described that operating room floating around and saying, I saw you and Dr. Catania standing in the doorway with your arms folded talking. I didn't know where the anesthesiologist was, but he came running back in. And I saw all of these post-its sitting on this TV screen. And what those were any call I got, the nurse would write down who called and the phone number and stick it on monitor, and then the next post-it would stick to that post-it, and then I'd have a string of post-its of phone calls I had to make. He described that. I mean, there's no way he could have described that before the operation because I didn't have any calls.
No.
Right?
And he's sitting on, and he's lying on the, so he must have been floating.
He was up there.
Yeah.
He described the scene, things that there is no way he knew. I mean, he didn't wake up in the operating room and see all this stuff.
No.
I mean, he was out.
Right.
And was out for, I don't know, even a day or two.
Right.
While we recovered him in the intensive care unit. So what does that tell you?
What
does that tell you? Was that his soul up there?
It's hard to know. But
It
certainly brings that possibility into play.
It always makes me very emotional. There have been other instances, like one other I remember so vividly was a guy who was on anticoagulation, medicines that keep you from clotting. And I don't even remember the operation or whatever, but we had to do him right away. And you try and reverse that as much as possible, but it's impossible to completely do it. And we were in there and we'd finished the surgery and we just simply could not stop this person from bleeding.
Right.
I mean, we pulled out every gun in the armory to try and get this
everything you can possibly do.
Yeah, and we finally decided we're not going to be able to stop this bleeding.
Right.
And all of a sudden, nobody spoke. Because everybody in that room felt a presence.
Right.
And, I mean, the anesthesiologist and I talked about it afterwards. I mean, there was no question. There was a presence in that room.
Right.
And he stopped bleeding just like that.
How do you explain that? What is your take on that, Dr. Rudy?
Oh. There's something out there that, you know, people with faith believe is there. Some people call it God, some people call it other things, Buddha or Muhammad or whoever. It has convinced me there is something out there.
Something out there. It is so good of you to share this with people who don't get the opportunity to be at those near-death or post-death experiences.
I don't know. It just convinces you that the strings are being handled up here somewhere. I mean, you know.
Absolutely.
And it makes me very emotional.
I can tell. Yeah.
Hold on. I got it. All right. So everybody with the Time Prophet, what do you think? Because we know what Time Prophet thinks. But anyway. So what do you think?
Yeah.
Well, you have to take into account the experience of the doctor.
Let's just go through the
rooms.
ignorance here.
The experience of the staff and experience of the doctor, where things just don't happen all of a sudden. It's like there has to be some clinical explanation for clotting the blood or the blood stopping or the heart not beating, and there's no electrical indications on the machinery, and then the next thing you know, slowly it creeps in. So and they're trained to not guess. They're trained to know what's going on and observe what's going on. with their patients, especially surgeons. I mean, they have to be 1,000% correct with every move they make to save a life. And they have to be absolutely sure what they're doing is going to save that patient. So for them to speculate is not in their wheelhouse. They just don't know. Like it's like he said, the guy wouldn't stop bleeding. The patient was still bleeding. There's no way they could stop the bleeding. It wasn't stopping. The next thing you know, there was a feeling in the room, and everybody felt it. The next thing you know, he stopped bleeding. All of a sudden, just all of a sudden. So
right,
just like that.
So can I point out? Can I point out the Time Prophet screwed up here? Can I point this out? Okay. So first of all, he screwed up. All right.
Yeah, I know. He was blaspheming
he is saying
Santa
that
Claus.
he has retired. He wants his. Well, yeah, but he says he is retired. He wants his, 5 minutes of fame. But that's basically he's saying that he has something to gain from saying this or from testifying to this. But look at this comment right here. How is that not saying why he wouldn't be willing to testify to this? So you basically gave the reason why he wouldn't. Why he has nothing to gain. The very reason why he wouldn't do something like this.
Oh dear.
So you just disproved your own point.
Oh boy.
What do you think?
Oh,
Mic drop?
boy.
Mic drop, everybody?
Uh-oh.
What do you have to say?
Yeah,
Ty?
whatever. Anyway. So, all right. So, evidently, we'll just cover both sides of the argument to prove a point here. So, in other words, you can just pretty much disprove anything Time Prophet says because he's going to take both sides of an argument to prove his point anyway. So, anyway, all right.
It's probably the weekend. He's not working, so he's having a little fun.
Yeah.
I don't care. He just bores me. He just really bores me. All right. Anyway,
He doesn't bore you. You look forward to having him come in and
he has no career. He has a reputation.
You
He has a reputation,
you
Time
like
Prophet.
the confrontation.
Anyway. No, I mean it's just like, okay, if this guy wants 5 minutes of fame, the worst thing he can do is to start spouting faith because that will immediately take him out of all the conferences. It will take him all the speaking engagements. It'll tank his reputation unless he believes in it. Whatever, it is what it is. All right, so
That's good.
it is what it is. I just hate a disingenuous argument. I just do. I really do. Anyway, so here we are. I mean, I could show. All right, in my research, I came across thousands of these. There's entire playlists of these on YouTube. There's multiple playlists.
Yeah.
All of them are different. All of them are unique. All from different walks of life, all from different educations and different vocations. There's even doctors, a whole bunch of doctors that have had these, even personal NDEs after they've had near-death experiences. And so you have scientists, and you've had atheists, you've had all walks of life. These NDEs happen. They don't seem to be a respecter of persons, and they do not come across religious lines. Anybody that says that is ignoring all the facts, which is something that Time Prophet does routinely. But anyway,
Well,
so when you guys
is-
research this, don't take my word for it. Go ahead.
that basically in these experiences, a vast majority of these people that experience a near-death experience of some sort or some sort of situation, where they clinically died and came back to life or something similar. The majority of them are not Christians at all. Probably not even of any other faith. But as soon as they come out, it appears that they have an awakening and they seek Christ, either through Catholicism or, Baptist, Protestant, whatever it might be, Orthodox, Christian too. So
well, I mean,
they seek that.
Not even
because
necessarily
they're afraid.
that.
Whatever they saw, whatever they experienced, they don't want to experience it again.
Well, see that's not necessarily 100% of the outcomes either, because there's a lot of people.
I'm saying a vast
who
majority
come out of it
will.
not necessarily believing in. Well, I mean, a lot of them do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that people that brush up against these NDEs, the one thing they have in common is they all wind up believing that there's something beyond life. That they believe in the presence of a soul. They believe in something.
There was one video I watched maybe last year or the year before, and somebody I forget who it was, but somebody had an NDE, and they were actually they came back, and they were actually sad. They were actually sad to be back, if you know what I mean, because.
Right.
Yeah, because they had such a profound and almost joyous experience that they didn't want to come back, but they had to come back for whatever reason. So it's not always clear cut the same thing. It's difficult to say. There's been some who have experienced NDEs and had a bit of an awakening, and they say that we've got religion all backwards. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's experience is a little bit different,
Well, it's a little bit different, but there's some commonalities. The tunnel of light is a commonality.
Yep.
Not everybody sees a loved one, but the floating above their own body, that's a commonality.
Yeah.
And the meeting the loved ones or meeting people that they didn't know was dead, that happens a lot. And there are some where they wake up thankful they're back and terrified of of what's beyond. That happens. And so there doesn't seem to be the thing that seems to be common, the thing that's they're researching right now. And this has been speculation's been going on for a long time. Remember that movie? It was in the 80s where guys were like deliberately killing themselves and bringing themselves back.
Flatliners.
Trying to go further and further.
Flatliners.
Yeah. Flatliners. Yeah, I mean that's what, mid 80s, about 86. So people have been, I don't think that's a little extreme. I don't think people are doing that to themselves deliberately to research.
No.
I know that there's people that doing sensory deprivation research.
Okay.
That have had out-of-body experiences. Where if you deprive yourself of any kind of sensory input for a significant period of time, they've had experiences of floating around the lab outside of the deprivation tank and being able to tell people things that have happened in the lab. So, according to scripture, there is like body, soul, and spirit. The triune being. It's a biblical concept, but anyway. Here
That's right.
we go. All right. Okay. So, you parkour. All right. Here we go. Let's bring parkours into it. Yeah. There we go. I don't see facts. I see conjecture. You don't see facts because you refuse to see facts. I can give you facts if you want facts. I can point you in the direction of a lot of studies that say just these things. Anyway.
Well,
all right. Anyway, if only if they don't pay the pimp. Okay. There we go.
The
tunnel lights is the brain shutting down, not really a vision, just natural experience everyone gets before death, like when you turn no TV off. Spot. Yeah, we've already talked about this. If that was the case, then why do people have experiences that are not conducive to their own thought processes, to their own experiences? Why do they have experiences that aren't in their brains, that don't fit their worldview? That doesn't make sense if that is the fact. Okay.
A lot of different. There's different.
Anyway, all right. As slow the world before us, the brain decodes into pictures for death. The brain shutting down, replaying. Except they're not playing old memories. A lot of these experiences are brand new and didn't happen beforehand. So who is denying facts? Anyway, believe what you want to believe. Time profit. You're going to anyway. So anyway.
There's a lot of theories about the
50 years watching TV is
whether or not
brain. Yeah. Right. Anyway. Okay.
There is a lot of theories about the tunnel and whether or not it's a reincarnation trap, but it's just one of those things. But they never explain how you get out of it. So.
Right. Well, the reincarnation people, there is a lot of weird oddities with the reincarnation ideal, in that why do they always come back as somebody famous? Why don't they come back as somebody common?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of issues with the reincarnation.
It's like the what's they call the wheel of samsara or something like that. You've got to come back and learn more lessons and stuff. Why don't I remember any of them?
Right.
That'd be useful.
Yeah. So how is that useful if you don't remember the lessons of your previous life?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't. But anyway, so look it up. Look up the research. It's all out there, everywhere. There's decades and decades and decades of facts that are out there that would please even somebody as obtuse as our friend in the chat there. I just didn't have time in 1 hour format to start spouting a lot of it. But there's people who, there's actually a whole branch of science dedicated to NDEs. And there's a lot of research going on in this area. And they have billions of points, data points that they can talk about.
And billions.
It's out there. It's easy to find. Simple Google search will bring it up. So, but what we're looking at today, and the reason why I didn't go further into it, Cool Bro Rab is coming back as William Wallace, but see, the way reincarnation would work is if Quirrell was William Wallace.
There you go.
So he wouldn't be coming back as William Wallace. He would be William Wallace, reincarnated as Mr. Barab. So, anyway, all right. I'm getting a little worn out from correcting time profit here. So let's put a bow on this. All right.
What's new?
So obviously, I'm in the confirmed camp. What about you, Wookie? What are you thinking?
Yeah, there has to be something to it. There's no question. So yeah, I'm confirmed.
Alrighty, Mr. Barab, what are you thinking, my friend?
Absolutely. There has to be something to it. There's I don't know what, but there's definitely something there.
I'm closing my poll because I had no voters.
Oh,
Okay.
My
Not even Time
apparently
Prophet? Time Prophet didn't vote debunked?
not on mine.
Wow.
No. Zero,
Well,
zero,
do your
zero.
job, Time Prophet. If you're going to be a skeptic, at least vote debunked.
He was actually,
What
I
in the
think he
world,
was
dude?
actually in your YouTube chat.
in your
Because
one?
he wasn't in mine.
Oh, really?
There's no poll.
Yeah, I think he was
He's
in
saying
yours.
there's no
okay.
poll.
He had
there was no
I
poll.
got one vote. Okay, I got one vote on the horizontal as confirmed. In the poll there.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yep,
Looking
I
at
got
the
There is no
Okay.
bathroom.
well, accident.
First time I got zero. 0, 0, 0.
There's no
Well, I
poll.
need to. I actually closed up the wrong one. Let me.
Oops.
Well,
Let me
he's saying there's
reopen
no-
my.
Do
He's
other
saying
one
there's
here.
nothing
Hold
in
on.
yours, Wookie.
What? Yeah, because I closed my poll. Because I had no
Oh.
votes. We were settling up on all the
Too late,
settling up
I
on
guess.
the stuff.
Too late, I guess.
Yeah, he was just a little too late. Buddy, did you close yours yet?
I accidentally closed out the wrong one, so I'm reopening it. Hold on.
Okay.
Man, Time Prophet, get over there and get into the poll. Ow.
Okay. So I have see 2 votes here. One is confirmed. One is in the middle. So I have an in the middle and a confirmed. So I got 2 confirms, an in the middle, and so
Logic
that's
logic
3.
dictates.
Let's see, 5 confirmed. Did I do my math right?
What? Hey,
There
Time
you go.
Prophet, which one were
We
you
will
on?
add
The
a
vertical
debunked
or the horizontal?
on behalf of Time Prophet.
He's saying there wasn't a poll. He
I
must
wait
have
on
a second.
behalf of Time Prophet.
not the
Undoubtedly.
horizontal. Because I put the
Wait a
poll in the
second.
horizontal,
Logic
not
Yeah.
the vertical.
Logic dictates that Time Prophet would vote.
Well, I put them in
Time
both.
Prophet, what's your
so
vote,
just in
Time
case.
Prophet? Debunked or in the middle?
I put my poll in both.
I only did the one on the horizontal.
Yeah, just go ahead, give us your vote, Time Prophet.
What's your vote, Prophet? There we go. I figured.
Just
So we got one debunked.
My goodness.
let me
So we
look.
got
He
the
went with
Prophet there.
debunked. I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
Debunked.
Debunked. Okay.
So shocking.
So shocking. Wow. Did not see
Yeah,
that
we're all
coming.
blown away.
He ought to
Anyway.
make a cool little short guitar riff. Call it debunked.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So don't just take my word for it. There is a preponderance of information out there. There are podcasts and there's papers, books written. There's a ton of evidence that has been gone through about this, and just a quick web search turns it up. You don't have to even go too far or spend too much time on it. So tonight we are going to say
Creators Outlet joined us in the chat.
Hello there.
a little late to the party, my friend, but welcome. All right, so tonight we landed on confirmed, despite a certain person's efforts in the chat, who shall remain nameless. Anyway, but like I said, this show is an overview show. we don't really spend a lot of time on stuff. We have 1 hour, and we try to come to a conclusion in that 1 hour. And that's the way the show is designed. And so if you want to go further on these topics, feel free to go further on these topics. If you don't think that I've covered something significantly or well enough, then blame them, because I'm doing all the research myself.
It's all my fault.
So just
what about me?
Blame them. Go ahead and blame them. There you go. Anyway. Except for Kroll. Kroll actually does read his stuff. He does actually help me with research a little bit. So, but anyway, I hope that Abby watches this show and thinks that we covered it significantly. So anyway,
yeah, he might catch.
But thank y'all for coming. This has been Cryptids and Conspiracies. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. But this has been Cryptids and Conspiracies. I think we're going to do Dark Side of the Moon a week from now.
And not Pink Floyd.
No, not Pink Floyd. We're going to talk about the Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep.
So that's going to be a week after next. Is there something on the dark side of the moon? Is going to be the question for the week after next.
I did too, there, Prophet. I like Pink Floyd too.
Is that what you had in mind, Wookie?
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fond of them. Right. I'm very fond of them. All right, so that's going to be a week after next. Not next week, but the week after next. And we will see you all then. Follow the White Rabbit on this channel and follow the Wookiee on his. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully John will be able to join us.
Yeah, Mr. Longbox. Yeah.
No, we are not going to talk about that because we're not talking at all. I will get struck if I play a song, if I play a moment of that album on this channel. It will get taken down immediately. So, no.
Yoko Ono wasn't on that album. Come on now, Time Prophet.
No. All right. Anyway, thank you all for coming. We will see you next week. Follow White Rabbit. Follow the Wookiee.
All right, everybody.
And hopefully John will be back. You can follow him on his channel.
Yep.
So, bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.